Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world of my creation. What we'll see will defy explanation.
He's a father, a brother, an icon to those that know him. He is Endeavor Empire.
Well, here we go again. How we doing today? Y'all doing all right? I'm fantastic. Great. having a great day. Every day is a great day when you wake up above ground to see another beautiful day. Real talk. I'm just saying. I want to welcome you out to the show. My name is Derek. I am Endeavor Empire. Hope everything is going right and well in your life. And if it's not, it's never too late to change that. Figure out what it is, how you can go about doing it, and making everything A-okay. As some people would say. Not much going on here. I've been experimenting with some cooking. Trying to get back to my cooking roots. Trying out some different recipes. Made this caramel apple dump cake. I don't know if it's cake, but you put the cake on top. It's pretty good. It's pie filling, some yellow cake, some caramel pieces, some butter, nutmeg, and some salmon. It's all good. Hope everything is all good. So, well, not too much happening in the TV world. Still got this writer strike thing going on, but again, that allows me time to catch up on some other shows. You guys ever check the show out called Warrior? It's on Max is what they call it. I think HBO changed their name, went to HBO Max. Now it's called Max. Pretty good show. I hate the fact that, we favorably stream the streaming shit and we have to wait for next week's episode to come out as if it's actually happening live on TV instead of releasing all the episodes like they used to do. Sucks. God, that sucks. Gotta wait a whole nother week. I'm trying to rush the week in order to get to the next episode. Jeez. But it's all good. I guess if I didn't have to wait till next week, I'd burn through all the episodes anyways. But hey, it's what it is. In any event, today, I wasn't going to do this for another couple of weeks, but this letter came in from a young lady by the name of Alexandria. She is from Columbus, Georgia. The letter's entitled, Be Better Parents. I'm not sure if she meant this towards me or her parents, but we're going to get into this because I have something to say after this because there is a Be Better Parent campaign going around. In any event, without further ado, let's see what Miss Allison has written me today. And let's see if we can talk about it, figure out where she's coming from or how we can help her out. And as follows. Hello, Mr. Derek. My name is Alexandra. Alex for short. I'm not giving you my last name because both my parents are fans of your show and they always like talking about the kind of person that you are. Well, last names are usually not important, but it's all good. I understand. You guys, when you email me, you can feel free to write however you want to write. I'm still going to read your letter. Some good and some bad, but for the most part, they support your show. They are both great parents. I love them so much. I'm writing you because I understand that you're a parent as well. I don't really have any issue with my parents, but I do have some questions about being a parent. No, sir, I'm not pregnant because that scared the shit out of me. I was like, yeah, this is not the show for this. My dad would kill me and I'm 14 years old. Yeah, as well as I would do my daughters. So I'm not ready for that life. My parents make sure of it, LOL. I'm the middle child of 4. I have an older brother, a younger sister, and brother. As I said, we live in the town of Columbus, Georgia. My mother and father both have great jobs. I love my family, wouldn't change it for the world. Mr. Derek, since they started listening to your podcast, they have also started family meetings on Sunday after church and dinner. Like you said, to start the week. I hope they write you because some of your ideas they incorporate with the family, and they really look forward to your podcast. My parents are strict but fair. I want to say that you have something to do with it. Really? Huh. I have seen some things that we as a family do differently, and though there are no real problems with anything, I think they want to keep being great parents. Sounds like they already are great parents. Oftentimes, my parent would always tell us about the good old days and when they were little, and that they didn't have things like we have today. I say that a lot. Like how it was before technology. Oh yeah, I remember those days. Good times. I sometimes understand, I sometimes don't. But my question is that is there a parent on IG that there's a parent on IG that I follow who talks about parents need to be better. I showed this to my parents and they were shocked, but not upset, because some of the things he talks about, my parents do, but not out of lazy or bad parenting. They say every parent is different. I asked them about how parenting is supposed to be, and they just said that everyone is different. Like he talks about when walking to your kid's room without asking, the parents should knock. My mom and dad just usually walk in. I did ask if they could start knocking, and she gave me that look with the eye. Yeah, I definitely know that look. You know, when you ask your parents something that you shouldn't be asking them, and the mother cuts her eye at you, like, what'd you say to me? Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. She said the day I pay rent is the day I start knocking out of respect. My mom does this to me and my sister. My dad doesn't do it. My dad does it to his brother because we could be dressing or changing. So basically what she's saying is that her mother walks in the room, but the father doesn't because they could be changing clothes. I get that. That's respectful. My parents also check my phone. They also have GPS locator on my phone for emergencies. I really don't think much of it. My brother's older. I feel he gets a lot worse, or maybe we both do. My brother's 17. On the weekend, he has a curfew of 11 p.m. I have 10. We all get good grades. Our parents are very positive, not negative. My dad always makes my male friends very uncomfortable at times. Is that normal? Yeah, as well as he should. Yeah, he should. But when my brother has a girlfriend over, he's allowed to go into his room with the door open. I definitely understand that. Mr. Derek, I have some questions for you. Before we get into the questions, Alexandria, thank you for the letter. Thank you for the support. What I do here is just because I'm a parent. Now, there's no such thing as a perfect parent. Every day as a parent, we learn to do things that kind of help our children succeed in life. And as you said before, and I say the same, everybody parents differently. So everybody does something differently. So while I do appreciate the comments and your parents incorporating the meetings on Sunday, because we still do that here, because I feel to the start of a great week that we should sit down on Sunday and not really kind of air our grievances out, kind of see where we are during the week and how we can go about making every week and every day such a better day, not only for ourselves, but for our children, kind of stay in communication with them and talking to them about, the weeks ahead and what's going to happen and what we're going to do and what we're going to expect and how we're going to do it. So while I love the letter and I don't really see anything wrong with it, we're going to go through it. But the first question you asked me, does it seem right? It does seem right, because all parents are different. Now, as you said, I'm a parent. I have 7 children, and I am in their life because I want them to know that I care about their life. I don't want to just let them keep doing any and everything without me not knowing, because I think being a parent, you have to know what your child is doing. If you don't know, then when something comes up or arises, then you're like, well, they should have told me. No, it's not they should have told you. You should be the parent and understand what your child is doing. So the second one says, do you check your kid's phone? Absolutely. I damn sure do. And I tell you why. There's too much bad shit going on in this world. There's too many pedophiles, too many people with fake accounts that's trying to get at these younger girls, especially the younger girls. My boys pretty much got a handle on it, but my girls, I'm not this overbearing parent where I need to check it every day. Now, I will check it at oftentimes unexpectedly because I want to know that everything is okay with my child. Now, my younger son, I do check his phone too, so it's just not my girls. But if something were to rise or something were to happen, I need to be clued in, because we as a parent, again, don't want to put everything on your child's shoulders and let them handle it. That's what the parenting is for, to guide them, to teach lessons, to show them that, hey, I'm here if you need me. I do want to check your phone, because this world today is a lot more crazier than it was back in our day. We didn't have all this technology shit. We didn't have all these fake accounts, this catfishing shit and all this other, crazy stuff. People can get at anybody on any given time on any social media sites, and you don't know who is sitting behind that phone or sitting on that computer. So yes, I do check my kids' phones. Can your daughters have boyfriends? And also your sons? Yes, my daughters can have boyfriends, but here's the problem. Not really a problem or the issue. My daughters have older brothers. So I very rarely have to pick up the slack, because usually they have to get through them before they come to me. But my boys are not hard asses. They care a lot about their sisters. One of my daughters, she's a straight tomboy, and the other one is a diva. But my tomboy daughter, she hits like her brothers. She does like boys. My other daughter likes boys, but she will not be disrespected by any boy. And I contribute that part to her brothers, because her brothers are very overprotective of both of them. And though when they have young men over, they just want to know and feel that where they're coming from. So I just want them to be safe. You know, it was different when I was coming up because I had nothing but sisters. So I actually kind of feel like it is a little bit different from back when I was coming up, because my sisters always looked out for me. And it was a bunch of them, and they cared deeply about me. So I didn't really have the luxury of going to their boyfriends and saying whatever, because it was a lot of them. So I think it's out of concern and out of care that family is always taking care of and looking out for your best interests, because we don't want any of our siblings, male or female, to get hurt, but particularly the females, because we know females are very vulnerable, very gullible. And I'm saying that in a good way, not a bad way. So we know that the slightest attention, even if you're not craving the attention, some boy or some male or whoever can do or say anything to kind of give you that butterfly feeling of, you know, I like you. I think I could see myself with you, or I think you're cute. So yeah, they are allowed to have such things. Now, as far as dating and going out, I will be chaperoning that, because my daughters are still kind of young. I have one daughter who's 15, one daughter who's 14. My boys, on the other hand, they have to meet the girl's father on who they're going out with, because I want them to be respectful. I don't want you to be some guy lurking in the shadow and you not meet the parents and just say, oh, and they don't know who you are. That's what we call respect, because back in my day, that's what I did. When I was dating my late wife, or any girl back in the past, I would always make sure I would meet the father or the mother, because I want them to know who I am. I want them to know the kind of person that their daughter's going out with. I want them to know that I want to be respectful of their family and respectful of their daughter by any and everything, all accounts. And that's something that is missed today. Really, it is. You have boys that will just, you know, spit this bullshit or this dumbass game, but are often afraid to meet the fathers or don't want to meet the mothers because of the impressions that they get of them. Well, he's judging me because I look like this. Okay, I don't judge anybody of my kids on who they date. I don't. So I just want to meet you to get the first impression on how you are and what you're doing. Now, if I get that impression that you're a good guy, then it's all good. If you're not the guy that I think you should be around my daughter, I will tell you flat out, straight up. No. So unless you do some things, and I'll let my daughter know that, because to us, there's nobody that can ever be good enough for our daughters. Am I right? Am I wrong? So that's just me. But do I get privacy? I think my parents are nosy at times. I don't understand, because it's my business and not theirs. In the meeting, I mentioned that about being better parents. That guy I follow on IG, I will also write him and ask him his opinion too. Mr. Derek, I can understand what I can do to talk. Hold on. I can understand what I can do to talk about this with my parents. I know they hear your podcast. They will see my side, and I know that they will listen to you about being better parents. Okay, so I emailed Alex Bax. Before I get to that, I know who she's talking about. There's a guy on IG who is constantly, his campaign is called parents be better. I think that's what it is. Because when I was on there, I went a couple of rounds with a few of the IG followers. And because I was like, well, who is these videos meant for? Because I don't understand. Because the things that he was doing, he was trying to give his kids, 100%, in my opinion, 100% control of who they are in his house. I understand that. I have kids. I want them to be 100% control of themselves, not my house. I'm going to teach you how to maintain this house. And I'm going to teach you how, so if you ever have kids, what you can expect on being a parent from me to you. He would say that the daughter couldn't have a boy in the room, and the daughter could have a boy in the room. I might be misquoting this, and if I am, feel free to correct me. But the daughter had a boy in the room. I don't think it's that, or the privacy. I don't know. It's something. I might have to look that up. But we see parents on IG taking off doors to their kids' room, and the kids are talking about, well, what about my privacy? And then the parent is like, you don't have any privacy. That's the exact way I feel. You have zero privacy in my house. You don't. And then he's talking about when your kids are cleaning, you're talking about you missed a spot. And he's like, well, that's not parenting. Your kids are not your slaves. They're your kids. I beg to differ. Though my kids are not my slaves, but I am teaching them to be independent, self-sufficient, responsible adults. So if I tell you to clean an area and you missed it, I'm not gonna go back over it and clean. You're gonna go back and do it, because in the real world, you screw up and you do something and you don't do it right. Well, your boss is not only gonna come to you, if he has to tell you more than once, sometimes 1 or 2 times to do it, then there's gonna be an issue. Possibly you might get terminated, because if they told you once and you don't do it right the first time, then there's gonna be consequences that follow. So while I understand this guy you're emailing, I think it was his name. How did she say what his name was? Okay, I think we'll get to that in a minute. But give me just a second. So what I'm simply trying to say, give me just a second. Is that everybody does parent differently. Everybody's not going to be the same in parenting. Now, as I said, I emailed Alex back with some questions. Are your parents abusive, verbally, mentally? Like, do they treat you bad in public or yelling or cursing? She said no. And I asked her, what is the most severe punishment that you've received, and for what? I mouthed onto my teacher and I was loud in class because she was annoying. She was annoying me. I was failing her class, which was math. I don't like it, so I was grounded for 2 weeks with no phone. I had studied hard for 2 weeks, brought my grade up to a C. Okay. I also asked, does your parents drink or do drugs? My dad has a beer most times after work. My mom doesn't drink unless she has company, and it's a glass of wine. No drugs. Is your dad abusive when he drinks? No, he's not an alcoholic. Do you or your siblings serve as maids? She said, yes, we do chores. And the guy from Be Better Parents said that we shouldn't be treated like that. Let me get to the rest of these questions first. Are your parents criminals? Like, do they have a bad history? Meaning, have they been in jail? Really bad things? No, Mr. Derek. Does your dad walk around the house pounding his chest and says that he's the king of his castle? No, but he says he's the man of the house, and my mom said that he is king. I get that. I asked, what kind of phone do you have? Android or Apple? She said she's an Android because my parents said all you're paying for is a name, and we have phones from Metro PCS. We're all on the same plans. Definitely get that. Do you want an iPhone? She said no because it costs too much, and my parents are right. Yes, they are a black family. So here's my explanation. Parents don't mind being corrected if they are wrong. If you have that type of parent that wants to say that okay, I understand where you're coming from, because that's me. That's me. I'm not just going to spout off at my kids, not knowing the 100% facts. And sometimes I don't even get it right. I really don't get it right. But I think where you went wrong is that you said, you told them that the guy from Be Better Parents said that we shouldn't be treated like that. That's bad. The guy that she's talking about is Billy Visco, aka Billy Perry. He's the guy that she is following. He's on IG. He's on all mostly major platform. He has three kids, 2 daughters and a son. And he is and he's the parent that creates the videos with his daughters telling parents to be better. Now, how he wants to do his home and his kids, that's his business. But how I do my home and my kids, that's my business. Just like how your parents do their home and how they do you is their business. Everything that you said about them, they're not abusive. They don't demean you. They don't disrespect you out in public. Let me tell you something. Back in my day, if you acted out in public, you got your ass whooped. Okay? If we screamed in the store, if we ran through the store and we run amok and we started doing damage and stuff in the store, you'd get your ass whooped. But I think bringing this to your parents' attention, it's like they're trying to compete with somebody, or you're trying to make them compete with somebody that they shouldn't compete with. Because we see a lot of parenting online. Some is good, some is bad, some in between. Now, there's a lot of stuff online that I really don't agree with. I really don't. For the most part, some of the parenting skills that everybody has online is relatively good. Now, everybody's from different backgrounds. Now, Mr. Bill Perry or Billy Perry, he did put out a memo on Facebook explaining to everybody, what I do in my home is different. I understand that everybody parents differently. So the videos are just for not really entertainment, but kind of educational purpose. Because when I read some of the comments, I felt that there was a lot of people on there who were just really, really downright mean and really saying some cold, nasty things about their parents. I mean, one follower wrote on his page that I wish my dad would die because this is the way he treated me. You gotta understand, back in the day, there's no excuse for ways that for a parent to treat their child, but parents had it rougher back in the day, and we still have it rougher these days, because these days kids don't listen as much because they think they're entitled to any and everything. And I don't give a damn who you are, white, black, Mexican, Hispanic. If you are in a household and you're brought up a certain way and your parents are your friends instead of being the parents, that's just pretty much asking for it, because you're letting your kid run amok and do whatever the hell they want to do. Not my kids, not mine. I don't give a damn how big, how tall they are, how old they get. As long as I draw breath in this earth, in this world, I'm still going to be that parent. So I will check my kids. I will put foot to ass, and I am not playing. So, Jesus. So what I'm saying is that everybody's different in their parenting. If your dad is talking about the old days, back in the old days, we couldn't say anything to our parents without either getting the side eye, or if we mouthed it off, you best believe there'd be a hand coming to your mouth, because it was out of respect. And I think what is lost today is that we look, these kids see these videos of these parents doing these things, and some of them decide to test the limits. Some of them decide to test their parents. As I said, I've seen parents that are actually scared of their kids. I'll be damned. I'm not scared of my kids. And I'm not saying that your parents, you should be scared of your parents. I think your parents are trying to teach you the correct way and the responsible way. They say you shouldn't yell at your kids. If you don't yell at your kids, I'm not saying yell at them sporadically. Like if they do something wrong, then that warrants me from raising my voice to try to get you to understand what the hell you did wrong. Because even though you want to try to justify what you're doing wrong is right, it's actually wrong. So if you think parenting is not yelling at your kids and telling them how to be, and you just think you should just lay down for them, I got a sad ass thing to say to you. That's sad. It's going to get out of control, Because it's the way I look at it. When your child leaves your house or when they're an adult, in the real damn world, the real world, this shit happens every day. Bosses yell at people. If you're going to the army, drill sergeants yell at you. They tell you to do this. So I'm not going to pacify my kids by, being nice to them 24/7 when they do something wrong. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I'm not going to be nice to my kids when they do something wrong. They have to understand that there is punishment. And I think that is what's lost in today's world. We see kids tearing up shit for no reason. We see kids stealing shit for no reason. We see parents that are taking up for their kids. Oh, my kid would do that. No, that's not him. But crystal clear as day, as proof is in the pudding, you can see that that's clearly your damn child. So we want to pacify them and save them when they do something wrong. But when they're at home and doing wrong, we don't want to do nothing about that. We want to let them run our damn house. Let me tell you who ain't running my house. As long as I pay bills, I am the damn king of my castle. Okay? All my kids know it. My kids don't fear me. I don't want them to fear me. I want them to respect me. I give them respect and they show me respect. So my kids are free to be who they want to be within reason. Now, I don't walk into my daughter's room. I do knock sometimes where I'll say, hey, daddy's coming in. They can say, hey, dad, no, we're changing. I do check cell phones. I do watch out who they hang around. Because why? I want to make sure that they're not doing nothing that they shouldn't be doing. I want to make sure that their friends know and understand that what kind of parent I am. And for the most part, all their friends seem to agree about who I am. I mean, I'm not sure why some of their friends are scared of me because I'm nothing to be scared of. I'm just a parent. And I understand that what you do in your house is your house, but when you step into the Saunders household, respect will be given at all given times. So I have my kids' friends who actually tell me thank you, because I do things a different way. I have parents who say the same thing. So it's still kind of hard to believe why I don't have friends, but I definitely understand that. And I'm not worried about that. So I think that what's going on in your household is actually good. I think you shouldn't worry too much about it. I think if you want to continue to follow this guy, I wouldn't bring the videos to your parents' attention because it doesn't sound like your parents are doing anything wrong. It sounds like your parents are doing everything right. I think these videos are meant for those parents that are struggling with parenting and trying to figure out how to parent. Now, I honestly don't need a video to tell me that. But if someone to look at the video and want to say, well, okay, this is what I should do different. So it's kind of baffling to me because when he showed the video of him taking his daughter's phone and he was going to smash it, but he's always talking about, well, parents, don't smash your kid's phone, this, that, and the other. Do better and be better. Okay, first off, if you buy it, you can smash, you can do whatever you want with it. You paid for it. So I'm not going to always agree with what this parent is doing. I went back and forth with some people on IG and half them weren't even parents. They were just giving their opinion. The guy I was actually going back and forth with wasn't even a parent, didn't even have kids. He said, oh, if I have kids, I will let my child do whatever. Then I tell you what, have kids, let your child do whatever. Come talk to me in a few years and we'll see how that goes for you. Because I'm not going to let my kids run me. I'm not going to be feared by my kids. And I don't want my kids not going to be feared by my kids. I'm not going to fear them. I've seen parents that get scared of their kids. I've seen parents that go upside their kids' heads because they don't get something that they should get. They don't get the new iPhone, the new Jordans, or the new gear, or they don't get their hair done. In my house, you have to earn any and everything. In my house, we have chores. In my house, you have to put in work. Because if you don't put in work here, when you go to work, how are you going to put in work? I want my children to understand any and everything that life is about to come to them. Because it was not what it was back in our day versus now. 10 times harder. 10 times harder. I mean, we see kids screwing with people's foods, doing stupid shit, racism this, racism that. One girl I seen on a video mixing her whole damn arm in fast food, mixing at McDonald's a whole thing of tea. So they do this for the clout. They do this for the fun. I don't do shit like that. If that was my child and I found out that was my child, I guarantee you she'd be missing an arm. And I'm not talking about decapitating. That bad boy would be broke. And then she would be giving free labor to whoever she did that to. So I think as parents, we have to... Hold on, let me get a sip of my tea. I think as parents, we want to continue to do better and we want to support our children. But we can support our children. But we can support our children in doing teaching them the right way. Now, kids already today think they know any and every damn thing. You can't tell them nothing until shit happens, where they get in jail or they have to go to court or something bad happens. And though we can't prevent that from happening, the only thing we can do is stand behind them and say, not even say, hey, I told you so, but say, hey, is this the life you want to live? This is the road you're going to be headed down. Because my son has been in trouble. My son has went to court, and I told him, you screw up, there's consequences behind your action. Good for him that he owned up to it, had to do his community service, but that's what I want that to be taught. He told me, Dad, I won't do that again. So if you have a good parenting background, you have a good upbringing, keep using that upbringing. Yes, some parents get stressed out at times. Some parents are upset at times. Doesn't mean they're upset with you. Things could not be going the way they want. Something could happen at work. Money could be short. Hours could be lost. They're trying to figure out the way on how they can provide better for you. And they need their children to step up and be the children that they need to be and not give them a hard time. You know, we have so much, to me, in my opinion, teen pregnancy is out of control. I was seeing a video the other day where they were giving a baby shower for a 14-year-old couple, teen couple. I thought that was straight bullshit. I really did. Because let me tell you who's not going to get on IG and had no damn baby shower and a reveal party for a 14-year-old couple. Bad enough my niece got pregnant at the age of 13 and her mother thought that was the best. I looked at my girls like, do it if you want to. No. So I want my children to excel at life. I want them to be happy. I want them to do any and everything that they possibly can continue to do. Give me just a second. But I looked at his video, and there's also another dad I follow, and it's called I Am Dad. And when I say that every household is different, I'm going to tell you how different. There was a black father I looked at. His son was talking reckless to his mother, like calling her out her names. And this kid was only 12. Wasn't no bigger than a minute. So, and then the father came to him and said, say that shit to me. Say what you said to your mother, say it to me. He didn't say it. So while everybody's parenting style is differently, and the mother was trying everything she could, the child was just acting out. So I don't think the father was absent because I don't think they're together, but I think he was either there for the weekend and she wouldn't let him play his game or do something. Now, I don't know what it is different from dads and mom because my mom, she ruled with an iron fist and I dared to cross her wrong. I remember that I said something wrong to somebody and she clocked me one. My mom has made me the man I am today. I'm a hardworking father. I take care of my kids. I have 7 kids, 5 boys, 2 girls. And I want them to understand about what life is. And I want them to be respectful. So I'm teaching them that. I'm teaching them how to be respectful. They don't have no kids. Thank God. 2 of them work. One of them is about to be back in school. He's going to start a job. My oldest son, he's going through some issues, but I'm trying to work through those issues with him to get him on a better path because I want him to be on a better path, but he's in therapy and my twins, they're in therapy and I do offer that support with him. You know, my oldest son, he was diagnosed with bipolar 1 disorder. So though I'm not lenient on him because of his condition, I still want to be the father there and to teach him. Just because you have a condition doesn't give you a free pass. So I still think he can be the best person that he's going to be. And I'm going to continue to be that father so that he can be the best person that he can be. Because I love all my kids. I don't treat any of them differently. So, Alex, I think what you said in this letter, everything was correct. Everything was good. But you have to understand your parents. When you become a parent, if you decide to become a parent in the near distant future or later future, not near distant, later future, getting my words tangled up. You have to understand that your parents are doing the best they got. And you said that your parents are fantastic. They're great. Keep praising your parents because your parents keep praising you. They're proud of you for your grades. They don't want anything to happen or to come in between that. Now, here's another story. When I was in high school, I dated a girl who was on the tennis team. She was a straight A student. My grades were not horrible, A's, B's, and C's, maybe a D in there too, but I was an honor roll student. But the minute she started dating me, it's like she was kind of slipping away from her normal activities and what she was supposed to be focused on. So the coach got involved, talked to the parents, and the parents talked to me, and the coach talked to me, and they said, we don't think it'd be a good idea for you to date our daughter because she has so much going for herself. I took that offensively. I did. I got mad. I didn't get mad and cuss out the parents, but I went home and told my mother. And I didn't understand because I really liked this girl and she liked me. But my mom explained it to me and she kind of laid down the law. She said, listen, she's got a future. I'm not saying you don't have a future, but her future is different than yours. If her parents wants better for her and wants her to focus on that, then you got to respect their wishes. I respected their wishes for about maybe the better part of the day when my mom told me. The next day I went to the girl and said, hey, we can still be together. You know what the girl told me? To my surprise, she said, no, we can't. I really want to concentrate on being a tennis player and doing better in the world or doing something different. Now, I took it like she was just saying I wasn't going to be anybody, but she didn't say that. She said, listen, we're on two different paths. I like you very much, but my grades are starting to slip. I'm starting to miss out on practice because I'm thinking only about you. And I was hurt and I was upset. I was angry. But as time went on, I completely understand. Now that we're adults, I completely understand. I completely understand. So while I understand what you're asking and what you're thinking about and what your mind is going through, I don't think your parents are doing anything wrong. I think they're doing everything right. But you shouldn't really kind of bring this other guy up into the mix. If your life is already progressing well and everything is going well, here's a saying, if it's not broke, don't try to fix it. Don't try to fix it. Because everything is going right. You have some good parents. You get good grades. All your siblings are doing good. And that's something that's to be commendable. That's something that's, oh my God, really good. And I think that, like I said, what he meant that for is for parents that are struggling. So this guy has a huge following. Shout out to him and doing what he's doing. I probably congratulate any parent. I'm not going to go in hard on him. I'm not going to say what he's doing wrong. I'm just going to disagree because I'm allowed to disagree. I'm not going to bash him. I'm not going to say what his parenting style is skill and what mine should be. Mine is better than his or his is better than mine. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. We as parents have to stick together. And what I mean by stick together, if we see something wrong, we don't have to call it out right there. Maybe pull the parent to the side, or if a parent wants to talk to you about something, hey, talk about it. But just because he parents a different way in his household doesn't mean that always works in your household. Now, you said your parents take notes from me. You guys started having a meeting, so to speak, on Sunday, which is what I do. I encourage every parent to do that. I encourage every parent to stay in your child's life, stay understanding of what your child is doing, because we've seen too many kids that are doing things and we don't even know about it, but then we come to their rescue like they're just 100% not guilty. But in some cases that they are guilty. You know, we had a young man a while back. His life was taken from him. He was shot dead on his front porch. The mother found him the next morning on the porch. I felt so bad. She was on the news begging and pleading, guys, check your kid's phone, find out what they're into. Make sure you're always there and watch what they're doing. Be that parent, be nosy. I understand what she was saying because she was upset because she found her son and he was shot on the front porch. So though my boys are older and one of them is an adult, as long as you're in this house, I will know any and everything I need to know about you. Because I want no surprises, and I want, if there's a problem, that we can handle that problem. That's all I want. And I'm pretty sure that's what your parents want for you. So my boys, when they have girls over, yes, they're allowed to take the girls in their room, but the door must be open. But here's the thing, in my house, there's no privacy here. Because the reason why I say that, I'm not worried about my boys doing anything in my house because there's so many kids in here that you can't really do anything. I mean, my boys have a bathroom downstairs, my girls are upstairs, and when my boys have company, the girls can't be downstairs. And when my girls have company, the boys can't be upstairs. Because partially part, they're older and they're damn near adults, and I'm not trying to, be sitting up in jail or because they did some stupid shit. So, So Alex, I'm sorry. I hope what I'm saying is putting some things into perspective for you, because I want you to understand. You keep doing what you do. Keep being respectable children to your parents, because that's something that is lost today. And if your dad talks about the old days, I talk about the old days all the time, because I wish we can get back to a point where there was much more respect and responsibility back then. Back then, we were happy teens to go to work. Now, teens today go to work, complain about everything. They whip out their phone, they got to record everything. And instead of helping their fellow man or woman or fellow co-peers or whatever, they rather videotape and try to get popular and get the clout. Back then when I started at working at McDonald's, it was like the best thing ever. We were happy to have a job. We were happy to go to work and get money. Now, not so much. Now we see attitude, we see phones out, we see all that. And I think that is something that's lost. And I blame it partially apart on parenting and then social media. Because my twins, though they have phones, they're not active. My daughter has a phone, my boys have a phone. My daughter is very responsible with her phone. My twins, not so much. They were kind of bullies. But luckily for me, they're in therapy and they're getting the help for that. So your parents are doing everything they can to be better parents. Sounds like they already are better parents. It don't sound like anything that you gave me is anything bad. It sounds like it is all good. And I really commend them on that, because we have some parents out here who are still struggling to find their way as a parent and to find their way as to being a better parent for their child. But as I said, there's no such perfect thing. There's no such thing as a perfect parent. When you parent your children, you want to make sure that they didn't come up in the life that you came up in. But sometimes you can't help that. But sometimes you can steer them away from that. We have single mothers. It's mostly single mothers. I think it's majority single mothers than it is father, or it could be wrong, but most of I've seen are always single mothers. And it's hard. Be grateful that you have two parents in the household who are working diligently for everybody in the household to make sure everybody is good, because that's kind of hard for single parents. As I'm sure you've heard, did a podcast with a while ago as a young lady who felt like she was being pressured into sex, and her mother kind of told her to wait because her mother wanted to end up like she was, young and pregnant. And I think that's commendable. So it sounds like the structure in your home is good. The structure in your home is stable. Don't go rocking the boat. If your parents ask you to do something, do it. I mean, it's not like they're asking you to jump up on the roof, scrape the shingles off and do a roof job. They're teaching you to be responsible, because when you get the work skills at home, you take those skills to work. You don't necessarily tell, oh, my parents did it, but you start understanding, start being respectful to the adults that is before you. Start being aware and start understanding that they're trying to want what's better for you. Because again, it's lost. It's lost. So as we get ready to wrap the show up, as I said before, everybody parents differently. Everybody wants to make sure that their parenting skills are good. I don't think that there is no wrong way to parent unless you're doing something illegal and something bad to your child. If you feel that it's getting too much for you, maybe you should get the help that you need. And if you think your child is out of control, maybe you should get your child the help too. So many times where we see parents on TV, they're at their wits' end. Oh, he's not doing this, he's doing that. My daughter's doing this. And, I try to buy her this so she can be happy. That shit only works for the moment. And then the moment quickly fades away. Catering to your child's needs instead of teaching them responsibility is no way to parent. If you want to cater to just their needs and not make them be responsible, then as life go on, it will be a lot harder and a lot difficult for them. Is it a reflection on you? Yes, it is. Now, I know that some parents are trying everything they can to to be that better parent. And violence doesn't solve everything. It doesn't. I know there are some parents that are still from the old school like me who still believe in a good old-fashioned ass whooping. That's me. But let me tell you what warrants an ass whooping. For my boys, you put your hand on a female. Or I hit you in the mouth because you called a female a bitch in front of me. Or you're stealing. You're getting hooked up on drugs. Again, I don't care how big and how old you are. I'm still that parent that's going to beat that ass. I don't give a damn. So those are the kind of things that warrant an ass whooping to me. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's more. I'm just not going to run off into them. But I'm an old school parent. And we still have some of us old school parents who believe in that way. And there are some parents who just want to talk it out and put your kid in timeout. I'm not sure what the hell timeout does, because clearly if you do something out in public that's illegal or get yourself in trouble, the only timeout your ass is going into jail. You better hope it's not on a weekend where they keep you over the weekend until you see the judge on Monday. I'm not a parent that's going to pacify your wrongdoing. I'm a parent that if you're wrong, you're going to admit that you're wrong and you're going to own up to your responsibility. That's how I parent. That's how I make sure you understand that you see what you're doing is wrong and that you hopefully learn a lesson from your wrongdoing. You know, the judge told my son that you're lucky that you're not 18 because you could have been downtown. And it's true. It's true. So since then, my son hasn't done that. He's more focused on school, getting ready to graduate. He only needs his 2 credits. Thank you, Jesus. And he's going to move on. So that's the kind of parent I want to be. So, Alex, shout out to you. Shout out to your parent. Shout out just to any parent out there who just keeps doing it and keeps trying to do what's right. Shout out to those parents who are still struggling. You can find your way. You can get the help that you need. If you need help, go to somebody. Try counseling. Try your family members. Try anything that's positive that you can get to where you need to be. There's no point in yelling, no point in getting angry, beating each other up, putting hands on each other, because that doesn't solve anything. And because sometimes we do things that we often regret. And I don't want you to do something that you regret. I want you to do something that's going to make you better. So, my friends, as we get ready to close it out, I want to say thank you. Thank you, Alex, for the letter. Thank you to your parents. Thank you for those who support my podcast. If anybody wants to write, talk, text, email, d6empire357@gmail.com. I want to thank y'all for listening to the show. And until next time, my friends, take care of yourself and each other. God bless you.